Valheim's biggest secrets and Easter eggs. So there are some cool secrets and Easter eggs in Valheim that you very well might not have encountered in your own playthrough of the game. Some of these things are really rare to see, or you have to pay close attention to not miss them, and some of these things aren't even in the game, while at the same time are in fact in the game. Do you still follow me? Well, more on that later in this video. So let's get right into it and take a dive into Valheim's biggest secrets. Thor? Question mark. When you're playing Valheim and a thunderstorm breaks out, it might seem like that's all it is, thunder and rain. But when paying close attention to the sky, you will sometimes see an entity near the location of the thunderstrike. In the early game it's quite rare to see this, but after defeating the fourth boss you will have a bigger chance of seeing this entity. Many speculate that this entity is in fact Thor, ripping out thunderstrikes from the sky with his hammer. But when you actually go towards the entity, you'll see something completely different. What you'll see instead are two deers flying in the sky with a basic cart or some kind of weird table attached to them. No actual Thor, unfortunately. However, it's more than likely that this is still somewhat of a reference to Thor. It's a pretty funny Easter egg, and when trying to interact with it, nothing really happens. You can't shoot it down and eventually it will just disappear. Odin. A dark entity will sometimes randomly spawn near you. The entity has one bright eye, wears a black hooded cloak, and holds a walking staff in his right hand. According to the lore, this entity can be no other than Odin. But Odin doesn't do anything in the game really, outside of occasionally spooking and jump scaring you perhaps. He just randomly observes your progression every now and then, but still cool though in my opinion. Odin's outfit. Another fun thing is that you could actually get Odin's outfit in the game. If you signed up for the Valheim beta, you would have gotten a Steam key to redeem this outfit. You would have gotten his cape, his helmet and his tankard to drink from. The clothing items are quite weak in terms of stats, but aesthetically the set looks pretty cool. And you can equip the tankard to consume meat that you place in the first stack in your inventory. If you weren't part of the beta, then you can spawn these items with console commands. However, you can't wear them and you will get a message saying you need the DLC. The tree in the sky. You probably have not missed this due to its sheer size, but when observing the sky you can see this huge tree type of thingy with vibrant colors and effects, and it looks cool, but it's also really far away though, and you'll have to fly a while to get to it. But what happens if you actually go to it? Well, when you go to it, absolutely nothing happens. The mythical red troll. So the 2-star troll is very rare and it might take hundreds of hours of playing the game before you find one. Many players, despite playing the game for a long time, never have seen a red troll. And a lot of people also do not even know that there is a red troll. But due to its color scheme being so different from the normal troll and the 1-star troll, this is definitely a fascinating creature. If you're lucky enough to observe this cool looking creature, you might at the same time be unlucky, because if you're in the early game, the troll will completely destroy you. It also takes a lot more effort to kill this one in comparison to the 1-star and normal variation, even if you're in the end game. Other interesting creatures. There are also other creatures that have cool color schemes, but most of them will not really compare to the troll's color scheme, and some will not have any different color schemes even with more stars. Some will be really subtle, like the 2-starred wolf for example.
Blimey!
However, there is one particular creature with a really cool color scheme based on its rarity, and it is the neck. Boom! Compare all the rarity levels of this creature and you will see that the 2-starred neck will be purple. It looks really amazing, and just for this reason I wish we could tame these creatures. Secret swords. So there are 2 swords in the game that aren't actually in the game. And what I mean by that is that you'll need to spawn them in. And the first of the 2 is the rainbow sword, also known as the cheater sword, because yeah, it basically just one-shots everything. And for obvious reasons I would not recommend playing with this sword, but yeah, it sure looks cool as hell. And the other sword is the sword engulfed in flames. This sword is pretty balanced in terms of stats and visually it looks fantastic. It might also be a sword that will be officially released in the future, because when you look at its crafting recipe, it includes flametol, which is made from the ore you can find in the Ashlands, which, as you might know, is already in the game. In my opinion, that will be a really nice addition. What do you guys think? Should the game add more interesting swords and outfits? Other objects that aren't in the game. There's also this red cape with a funny description that you can spawn in. It's pretty bland in terms of its looks, but yeah, it's also a test item that you can't normally get in the game. But way more important is the fact that you can spawn a corgi statue. Isn't it cute? And then there's also this weird spaceship thing, which seems to be a reference to another game made by the developer, as we can see in this 5-year-old video, which includes this specific item as well. So to my knowledge, that game was ultimately cancelled and was never published. But then obviously the bigger question is, why is this item in Valheim? And I don't know that myself, but as you can see, this thing is extremely shiny. So perhaps it was just a method to test the reflections in this game, or it's simply in here for the memes. Everything is possible. You also have some season-bound objects that might potentially be unlocked at a later date. There is the Halloween-inspired Jack-O-Turnip item, and then you also have the Christmas-inspired Yule tree. So currently these items are locked, but if you really want to use them, you can access them with creative mode. Maypole. I've covered the maypole in a video before, so I will only briefly mention it here for those that haven't seen that video yet. In short, the maypole is a super rare structure that will give you extra comfort level and looks really cool as well. A true Viking. So when you go to your forge to craft items or to repair your items, you will always automatically equip a little standard hammer to do your crafting work. However, if you don't want this hammer, you can actually equip your weapons in your inventory while doing so, and the animation will continue with that weapon instead. Using hotkeys won't work, so you have to right click the weapon. And as it works for every single weapon, the results can be quite hilarious. But this is really cool, as for an authentic feel you can equip the Frostner, while for the memes you can equip, for example, the hoe. The living islands. So there's more to the islands you can find in the ocean where you can obtain abyssal. These islands are actually creatures that are alive and they are called a leviathan. The secret here being that when you go below the surface, you'll see their bright eyes. Anyways guys, that was it for this video. A bit of a different type of video in comparison to my usual videos, but I thought this was a fun subject to make a video about. Let me know in the comments what you think, and also if you know about other secrets. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to smash the like button and the subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!